Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and on today's video tutorial, we're going to make some of those adorable little mittens using some vintage quilt pieces. And I'm putting my own spin on it in that I stuffed mine. So it's going to be fun. I'm going to talk about everything, show you everything. As you were hopping on, say hello, let me know where you're watching from, feel free to sprinkle, all that good stuff. Okay, let's start out by talking about the quilt. This is a piece of a quilt that was sent to me. It's fabulous, but what I want you to see, in addition to how beautiful that pattern is that this is a quilt that has been loved and is falling apart. So once they get to this point, they might have patches where it's okay, because fabric wear is different. Then it's not being used anymore and it's probably going to just end up in the landfill. So if you have some stuff that's like this, or even a quilt that's in better condition, but you don't have any sentimental ties to it, then instead of tucking it away, never to be seen, bring it out to play and make some fun stuff. And so we're going to do some Christmas ornaments, but you can use this very same idea to make bunnies at Easter, to make Easter eggs, to make pumpkins. You could do a lot of different shapes. So this is called a cutter quilt. I've had a lot of questions about that. I shared, I don't know, 30 pictures that I found on Facebook of cute things that people had done with cutter quilts, and I got quite a few questions. What is a cutter quilt? So this is what a cutter quilt is. Okay, I would absolutely not cut up something that has sentimental value, and although it might have some stains on it, it's still just fine, although it hasn't been laundered in a long time. I would not cut anything like that up. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that it doesn't have to be old. So you could do a little, you know, those little baby quilts, as long as it has some pretty close stitching, then it will work. And you can even do this idea just with fabric. So let's start at the beginning. So you're going to need some quilt pieces. You're going to need, if you're going to do this with my spin, this is white canvas duck. This came from Hobby Lobby. It's really nice and thick, and it's white. I opted to use white on the back. I think it blends better with this quilt, but if your quilt has cream colors, then use some of that oatmeal creamy canvas duck. This works great. So you're going to need that. You're going to need some Polyfill. This is my favorite from Walmart. Polyfill is Crafter's brand, Crafter's Choice, and it is ideal for doll making, which makes it kind of stiff. And then whatever doodads you want to jazz your stocking up with. And I'm doing, I'm using something that is like an embroidery floss. This is my mom's embroidery. Makes me sad. Anyway, so something like, you know, just your basic embroidery floss will work in whatever color you opt to use. What else? A needle and a pattern. Okay, so the first one I made is a little big. This was the second one I made. I used these mittens that are a surface that you can get from Magnolia DIY. I use these to create my pattern, and we will stuff it in a few minutes. Although I think it's probably too big for a tree. So then I just traced that mitten on a piece of paper, and I cut about ½ inch down. And this is my new smaller pattern. so this is even smaller than this one. And I'll take a picture of it, and I'll also write the height and the width when I'm all finished. So this is what I am using. Oh, and you're gonna need glue, and I'm using hot glue. Okay, so first thing you're gonna do is look at your quilt and decide where is the spot. And I love this part right here because it's edged in this adorable green. And I want to conserve as much as possible, so I'm going to scooch it clear over to the edge. Let me bring you up higher and stick you back further. Oops. I don't know if you can see better now, but anyways, and I'm just using a Sharpie. And I'm tracing the outside, and then I'll cut inside my Sharpie marks. I think if you have like a quilt from Grandma that is falling apart, you know, is not really usable for a quilt, for a cover anymore. It would be really sweet to make a bunch of these for your children and all the grandchildren for their Christmas trees one day. Okay, so this is what I have right here. And then you are just going to cut it out. And I'm just cutting right inside of the black Sharpie marker. There is a, well no, these spots are all good on this piece. It's okay if you have a little bit of your quilt piece kind of tattered, but it needs to be together enough that it doesn't fall apart. Okay, I'm almost there. This is going to turn out so cute. Oh my gosh. And this was exactly, I had been working on this a little bit, but this was what I was totally in the mood to do today, so I hope you guys like it. And try to really mix things up. Okay, here's our cute little mitten. And let me put, I don't want to throw my pattern away. Let me put my quilt material over here with the pattern. All right, so then I can decide, what do I want to do? Do I want to do red floss, which would look like this? Or do I want to do black? Where is that black piece? Oh, here it is. And what kind of a stitch do I want to do? I'm going to tell you a couple. And we'll start a stitch. Well, let me think. We'll finish this other one and then I'll show you this other stitch. I think this is called a blanket stitch, but the one that I have going here, I'm just doing an up and down. So let me finish this off. You can see this side's going to be completely hidden, and then we'll come back and I'll thread my needle with that black and I'll show you how to do a blanket stitch. This is an example of a blanket stitch. It is more time consuming, for sure. You could use white embroidery floss, or you could skip the embroidery floss altogether. You could put fur on the cuff. You could put a lace doily on the cuff. You can embellish this however you want. just gonna go across the top and tie a knot. And we'll come back to this one. Uh-oh. I just messed that up. I might have to stop and start over right here. Not all the way over, but yeah, I will. I can come back to that. Or I can skip the top part and just glue it down. Okay, so let me show you then. I have a little bit of thread on here, or floss. I'm just going to put a knot at the end of it. Let me show you how to do that blanket stitch, which I'm pretty sure this is what it's called. No, I do not have a microphone, Amy. I'm sorry. I am probably not going to do that. Try turning the volume up on your device. I'm trying to keep things simple, and technology, oh my word, it's hard for me. So I'm vowing to keep things as simple as possible. Okay, so to do a blanket stitch, let's come in from the back because then the knot will be hidden. Okay, what you're going to do, let me get it started. So you're going to go from one side to the other side, and then you're going to loop. Okay, I think it'll be easier now. So I'm going to just go from the front over to the back. I might find a better tutorial on a blanket stitch for you. So as your needle's just coming up, you just want to loop this long piece over it. And that is what creates the blanket stitch look. Unless I'm doing it wrong, which is entirely possible, but I don't think so. It's been a while since I've done that. Yeah, this is right. This is a blanket stitch, and it's great for edging. We're not sewing it to another piece. We're going to use glue for that. But anyways, I could do the whole thing with the blanket stitch if I wanted. It is definitely time consuming. Okay, so the next step, I'm going to do these next two, is you want to get your canvas. This is white. It came from Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to pin it to that piece real quick so that I can just cut loosely around it. We're going to glue first and trim second. Back to this one. Okay, so this is gonna just lay like this. Let me take my pin out. This is why I don't do more sewing projects, because I don't know the vocabulary, and you know what, I'm that kind of crafter that I just kind of know how to do some stuff, but I don't know what the proper terms are. Okay, I'm gonna start at the top. Wait, did I already glue this one? I did. Oh, it already has a pocket on it. Okay, we'll do this one. See, I told you, I have been crafting ahead, and, okay, this still works. It's just big. Okay, I'm going to glue this stitch right here down where I messed up. And then I'm going to do my bead of glue right over the back, right over the top of the stitches. And then I'm just pressing my canvas into it. I chose white for this project, but maybe you want to do, depending on what your quilt looks like, another color. I have red canvas stuck, I've also had gray canvas deck. I've had some that was black and cream. So you can get all different colors. And it's such a great fabric to stuff things with. Okay, we're almost done here. All right, I'm leaving the top open so we can stuff that. And I'm just gonna do a quick trim. And then I'll stuff this one and we will decorate this one. And yeah. So you could make Christmas trees. You could make angel wings. I saw some really pretty quilt pieces that were made into crosses. You could do bells. There's a lot of different shapes that you could do for Christmas if you were making something that you wanted to have for a Christmas ornament. And you don't have to stuff these, but I like to stuff everything, so I'm stuffing mine. If this isn't a super good job, I will come back off camera and fix it up. Okay, so here's the front and here's the back. And this is one that I did earlier, and I did the just the up and down stitches, and then I did the blanket stitch at the top, which is really nice. Sometimes the quilt batting is really thick and it's hard to get through it with a needle. Speaking of needles, where did I put mine? Okay, it's still attached. So for this little one, I thought we'd just do some black buttons, and I pulled out a bunch. I have a zillion buttons, so I have a whole jar of black buttons, plus a zillion others. If you do not, this is a cute little thing for $1.25 that I picked up at Dollar Tree. They had a mix of colors, they had individual ones. For this one, instead of doing the buttons down the center, I wanted to do them kind of off to the side. And I was thinking to do maybe just, well, let's look. I think that's what we'll do right there. So, just gonna put some glue on here. This is not going to get handled very much, so I don't need to use any special glue. I'm not using fabric glue sticks because this will never be washed. If it was washed, it would fall apart. And fabric glue sticks, you might be aware, are more expensive. So there's no point spending any extra money on fabric glue sticks. Okay, and I'm just using some ribbon that came from Dollar Tree. This is Black Grosgrain. Where is it? That I did one of those awareness loops. Do you guys know how to do that? You probably do, but let me show you just in case you don't. Okay, so to do an awareness loop, you're just going to pull it around on itself and then glue this piece together. And I'll go ahead and do that. We might use this one on this project. And I'm going to hide it inside. So there we go. So, look how cute that is. Oh my goodness, it's adorable. I think I like the black the best? What do you guys think? Do you like black or red the best? We'll stuff this one too. Okay, so I'm going to glue it on the outside part of the mitten, inside. And then, so I still have my opening. Let's grab some polyfill. You can stuff your little mitten as full or not as you like. I'm going to do the finger first. And I'm using a paintbrush to kind of cram that stuffing where I want it to go. It's not wanting to cooperate. Also, that's pretty narrow. So, let's see. I'm going to take it out and start over. And just do a smaller piece. This quilt is a little fragile to do too much tugging. So I'm going to say good enough. Oh my gosh, this is so adorable. Next time, oh gosh, somebody's getting snow in southeast Wisconsin. Oh, I'm envious. That sounds wonderful. We don't get a lot of snow here in Georgia. I mean, some years we do, but it's not a lot by normal standards. I grew up in Idaho where we'd have tons of snow. And where the little town I grew up in had so much wind that it would blow into snowdrifts and whole roads would be closed because of that. But here in Georgia, I live in the suburbs of Atlanta, we are such babies. We really are. And everything closes if there's even a skiff, or if there's you know, if it's cold and has been wet and there might possibly be a black ice somewhere, everything's closed. Okay, so I'm going to say this is good. And I'll massage that to get it to go where I want it. I'll also trim off all of the glue strings, and I'm just going to glue this closed. You know, you might look at Home Goods to see if they have any quilts. They're not going to be vintage, but sometimes you can get a beautiful quilt for 20 bucks at Home Goods. Here's my little mitten, isn't it cute? And here's the one that I did beforehand. Okay, let's do this one. It's all ready to go. Oh, and I need to do my hanger. I was trying to decide if something like this would be cute, that stripe, but I think it's too busy. So I'm just going to do this red that has a stitch on it again. My little awareness loop. Glue it to my desk. You got some, excuse me. Let's see. LaDonna says she got some well-priced old quilts from Goodwill's online auction. How do you get to that? I have never explored that. So I'm going to put this on the inside and glue it to that corner. How do you get to the online auctions? Does anyone know? I've thought about that for a long time and just never gotten around to looking it up. And what is a good price for a quilt, LaDonna? Inquiring minds want to know. This one's bigger. I can probably just cram some of this into the thumb with my own fingers. Yes. Okay, we'll see what she says. If anyone else knows, how do you get to the Goodwill online auctions? Because you know what they do now is they sort through everything that comes into the stores. They don't put everything out on the floor. They just put out the crummy stuff for the most part. Or the stuff that they don't know is good. And then they price it ridiculously out of this world. Okay, so that's stuffed. And let's glue this puppy closed. These are so cute and so easy. Oh my gosh, I cannot even believe how adorable they are. What do you guys think? Aren't they cute? I will get some photos of I love the black one, that's my favorite. I will get some photos of everything and shop goodwill.com. She got 2 quilts for $18. Guess where I'm going to be this afternoon? Not that I need any more craft supplies. I need that like I need nothing. But need and want are different, right? Anyways, I will explore that and I will let you guys know. So I think these are just super simple and super adorable. And if you were going to make, like if you were going to take Grandma's quilt, that's a cutter quilt that's falling apart, not usable anymore. If you were going to take that and make some of these, I would get a thin Sharpie marker and I would write Grandma's name somewhere on the back, around the edge, and what year it was. So that, and I would make one for every family member. They're so quick. They just, they're just so quick. So, let me know if you would like my supply list or a replay for this video. Yeah, Lynn says she would have a hard time making the first cut. Exactly. Exactly. I felt that way when I found a beautiful white chenille bedspread at Goodwill. The first cut was hard. But what if you look at it up close, let me show you this one more time. If you look at some of these old quilts up close, you can see that it has been loved and used and laundered so much that the fabric that was on those squares has disintegrated. This is not a very usable, it's not a usable quilt anymore. So if there are good spots, then do something with that. Don't cut up a quilt like this. It's still perfectly good. This was my husband's family somewhere. This beautiful quilt. I would never cut that up. It does have a lot of stains on it. I actually need to launder it, but I'm afraid. But if you have one that's just going to go to a landfill, then make some memorable stuff out of it. Okay, Lynn, I will get you the replay. If anyone else wants the supply list or the replay, just say replay or supplies or something like that, and I will give it to you in the comments. And I will get pictures. I will finish up this other one. I'm not sure I'm going to do a blanket stitch on it, but let me show you that one more time. Where's that piece that I did? Because it is time consuming. This is a tree that I was just fiddling around with that has a blanket stitch around the edge. I think I like this style better. But anyways, that blanket stitch is super easy once you get going. Lori, I'll get you the replay. Teresa, I'll get you the replay too. What was the online name for the quilt? I think it was, I'll look and I'll post that. Rovina, that's a pretty name. I'll get you a replay. And Dixie, I will figure out the link to the website for Goodwill. We're going to all be bidding against each other on quilts, you know. Okay. Have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you guys later. Bye. Denise, I'll get you the replay. Melody, you too. I'm going to go sit down, create my supply list, grab the replay link, and I'll get those out ASAP.